Alright, I think I have everything I need. Oh. Not much rubbing alcohol in there. Let me get a little more. Okay. Alright, so this can be a bit of a pain in the butt, kind of, but it is what it is. I like to take a little alcohol to the game first, clean it that way. Then a little water to it. Pretty similar to the when I clean the cartridge games as well. Pretty much like that anyway. So we're gonna start off with the gay van, because why not? All right, let's see here. There we go. So some of these actually pretty clean already, and others. See there, look at that. That's already getting pretty dirty there. So glad we're doing this. Sometimes though they're not too bad. Other times though, like you look at it and it's like it doesn't look that bad. It actually looks pretty clean, but then as soon as you go to wipe it off, it's like, oh my goodness, it's like a whole bunch of gunk all over it. So it's kind of tricky to tell until you just really get in there and do it. It's a little, there we go. Kind of tricky. I don't want to use too much water. Cool. That actually cleaned up pretty nicely there. So I'm going to do the outside first on all of these before we go to the inside. Just kind of get that taken care of first. I don't feel like doing the discs yet. Well, that'll be like stage 2 of all this. Yeah, the inside can be a bit annoying to clean because I can't think tonight. The inside can be a bit annoying to clean because just getting all, like, I like to get all the little bits of fiber and like lint and all that gunk out, so that basically the inside is like pristine, absolutely as clean as possible. The reason why is because to me that's like the most critical area. That's where the game disc is, and my goal is to keep that area free of any little fibers and whatnot, because I don't want those fibers to end up inside the console itself. Definitely not. That is the main goal there, just to keep the console from getting gunk in it. It's just like you can have very few fibers on there and stuff, and getting in the console, it can seem like, oh, there's not that much, but it's one of those bits of logic to me where it's like, sure, you can have a game with very little on it. But over the years, if you use that console a lot and you get a little gunk in it here, a little gunk in it there, and eventually, it's gonna all add up unless you go back and clean the inside again and again. But which I do every so often. I'll definitely take a good look at my consoles and clean them off anyway. But it's about like trying to stay ahead of the problem, I guess you could say. That's the main logic there. Look how much dust and gunk that we already got off of the first two there. So we're really already see the difference there. I feel like this one might be kind of dirty as well. It just looks that way. Yeah. Not terrible, but certainly worthy of a cleaning. This game is interesting. Looking forward to playing it. It's got a little sticker in the bottom right here. Sometimes I'm not sure if I want to leave that. It's not actually covering anything of importance. It's probably some kind of sales sticker or something like that from back in the day. I think I'll just leave it on there. Really depends. For me, sometimes I kind of like that stuff to leave it on there because it's like part of the history of the game, you could say. But it all depends, like I said, because it's like if it really is very intrusive and just looks nasty, and it's like, come on, get that out of here, then I don't want it. But this one's really not looking like a problem. This one cleaned up very well. Wow. Yeah. All right. That's so nice. Gosh. It's, again, I really have to I have to stress this to anybody who might do this as well. You can look at the game and think to yourself, well, it looks pretty good. It seems clean enough. But if you're feeling motivated enough, I'd say still give it a clean anyway. Try it, and you might see actually more difference than you expected. That's one of the things I learned very quickly when cleaning my games like this, where it's like it looks clear and it looks good, and I start to clean it and I get like a surprising amount of gunk off of it. Alright. Now this one is like a bit of a special case because it actually is... I'm just going to wipe it off because normally a lot of these cases have super small little scratches on them and stuff. I mean, if you look hard enough, you'll see from them being like slid around or whatever. This one, however, is already extremely like free of any scratches, mostly on the front. The back has just a slight couple, but I mean this is like almost brand new. This one here, somebody must have like stuck this on a shelf in like a nice safe spot, I'm assuming, because it's just like it's extremely clean and looks good. So I'm actually not gonna mess with this one, even though what I was just saying a moment ago, I don't want to risk scratching it at all, because it's just like, it is outstanding. Most of the games have at least a little scuffing that I'm willing to kind of work with, but this is just like, it might as well be brand new. It's pretty impressive. Really doesn't take much alcohol, by the way. Like, not much at all. That's something else, I guess, important to note when I'm doing this. You really don't need much. Well, something kind of interesting too on these games, the Japanese games anyway, when it's, you know, or just, I don't know what I'm saying. A Japanese Saturn game, I see a lot of them, they'll do this. English, Japanese. So they have the title both ways. It's kind of cool. It takes a lot of work cleaning all these games and stuff. I mean, doing it a long time. But my thought process on the reason why it's easy for me to justify cleaning them so thoroughly and whatnot and trying to just take care of them is because I don't know, I've seen a lot of people, they'll collect games and then eventually get tired of them and sell them off, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, personally, I don't intend to do that. I plan to hang on to my games for as long as I can. I mean, I could change my mind one day, but I mean, I still have games from when I was a kid, box and manual, everything, and I don't seem to feel inclined to want to part with those, so if that is going to happen, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. And I just like to take care of my stuff. Don't have a whole lot of belongings in my life, so the stuff that I do have, I like to take good care of it. This game, unfortunately, I was not able to get the manual for it. I would have liked to, but the cost without the manual made it pretty hard to pass up. The same thing for this one. This one was ridiculously cheap, so it didn't really bother me. Hope anybody, whether or not you're watching this now or later, that you're doing well and enjoying yourselves. Whoa, is that all from this one? Dang. This one's dirty. It looked a little dirty there, but yeah, alright, good. Get that clean. This game looks ridiculous. It's like a platformer that I guess has like a bunch of jokes in it and stuff. When it comes to cleaning these, sometimes you know, there's still a little residual gunk left over, unless you like go crazy with it. But I like to get it to like where I feel like it's like 99% clean or something like that. You know, getting that last little 1% can be really time consuming and obnoxious, and I'm not feeling like I never go that far with it usually. Looks like the disc itself could definitely use some wiping off too. Yeah. This one looks pretty darn clean. This one looks very clean. Okay, I'm curious to see how much we get from cleaning this one. I feel like not much, because like I said, you know, when I was saying about like they can look really clean and then you get a lot of stuff off of them, I've kind of gotten an eye for it now, at least. I feel like maybe not the greatest, but yeah, see, that's we're getting basically nothing here. That's really good. Yeah, cool. It's pretty darn clean. I'm looking forward to this game. This is Dodonpachi. This is regarded as being a extremely popular shooty boop. Quite often when you hear people talking about shoot 'em ups games, I call them shooty boops. And people have like their lists of favorite games. This one is definitely on those lists. Absolutely. It's by a company called Cave. You can see down there Atlas Cave. Cave, I believe. Or what am I trying to say? Cave is regarded as being like making amazing shoot 'em up games. A lot of people like that company because they just make some really solid shooty boops. Okay, got a couple Mega Drive games here too. That's the Japanese and European equivalent of Sega Genesis games. Got a few here that I might get to tonight, depending on how long all of this takes me. We'll see. It's been really fun working on the collection of games that I've been looking for various systems. And when I was growing up, I didn't actually have a Sega Genesis. Not many people I knew had one either. And the ones that did have a Genesis only had a handful of games, and honestly they weren't that interesting games to me. Like I was like, I remember when I was a kid thinking, I don't understand what the big deal about Sega Genesis is. Like, you know, like just I didn't see any really interesting games for a while there. But then a few years later, I did play one game at a kid's house that had a Genesis, and that game, I remember that game was definitely different than all the other Genesis games I had played. And I was like, man, that's actually pretty solid. Like, this game, it's got good music and graphics look really good. And I was like, this game is cool. This is different, you know? Finally a game on Sega here that looks pretty sweet. And that game was Streets of Rage 1. And I remember, like, for years just thinking about that every now and again, like, because, you know, the years and years went by, and I would think about that game. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember that game. And I remember it, like, seemed really cool. And I was like, man, I should really, like, try to get that game one day and play it or something like that. And eventually, yes, I did. I ended up beating it and everything. Have the cartridge and the box and the manual and all that. It felt really good. It was a really cool game to go through, and I enjoyed it very much. But also, you know, those years later, I just trying to be careful here. This is a unique specimen. This is not even a CD game. I'll show you guys in a second. But yeah, when I got older, and you know, times had changed and all that, I decided, I thought, you know, I really want to go back and start looking at this Genesis console and see what I might have been missing out on. And I'm really glad I did, because I have found quite a few games for it that interest me, for sure. And that's what I've been doing for a while there anyway. I mean, I've been looking at other consoles as well, obviously. But, yeah, it's just, it's always cool to me, with the Genesis there, because, like I said, I really didn't know what, was on it when I was a kid. And to just see it now, it's pretty cool, getting to treat myself with all these good games for it. And also when I was a kid, you know, the PC Engine was out in Japan, or TurboGrafx 16 here, and I heard of it when I was a kid, but I didn't know what the heck it really was. I was like, well, I've heard of it, and I know it's like a gaming console, but I didn't have any friends that had one. When I would go to like rental stores, they never had any games for this TurboGrafx 16, as they called it. So I was like, you know, I just kind of as a kid assumed that it was like some weird console that maybe was like not very good, and like, you know, why bother even like getting into it, because it just seemed like it was just so hidden, I guess, from me, compared to like, you know, Nintendo and Sega being right there on the front line. So I didn't really look into it any more than that till years later. And I feel like there's probably a lot of people in that same position where they don't actually know what the heck a TurboGrafx 16 is. They may have heard of it, but that's about it. I have done my research on that console for sure. Mostly the PC Engine, which is the Japanese equivalent of a TurboGrafx 16. And I have to say, boy, were we missing out on a really kick-butt console. Absolutely. It's really something these days to just explore all the games on that console and really see what's on there. It can be a bit expensive depending on the route that you go. If you go TurboGrafx 16 versus PC Engine, and then depending on what games you go for. But is it worth it? Absolutely. Like, talk about, like, in my perception of things growing up and all that, a hidden gem of a console. Absolutely. I've gotten quite a few games for it now. There's still a decent amount that I'd like to get for it. Unfortunately, some of them are ridiculously expensive. Some of those games are just like, wow, it's really something. I'm not trying to collect all the games for it. That's never my goal for any console except for Super Nintendo, and that's like a very soft goal that maybe I'll one day try to complete. But my important goal right now, when I have extra money here and there, is to get the games that I consider to actually be worth playing. That's what's really, that cleaned up nicely. That's what's really important to me. Yeah. I know some people, they just some collectors, they just collect every game they can get their hands on, like good, bad, whatever. Like, they don't care. They just, if it's a video game, they want it, and that's fine. You know, I always say that's fine, but that's just, I guess I have two, kind of like, for myself, two reasons why I don't go about it that way. Number one, you know, that's just kind of money thrown away to me if I'm never gonna play the game, if I have like no desire. So it's kind of like it's just wasteful of my money. I don't get like I know people get like the release of endorphins and feel good about it when they collect things, even if they're not going to use it. So if that's what gets you your smile at the end of the day, then good for you. But yeah, it doesn't really do it for me. Number two, though, the other reason is takes up space. They take up space. And when I go to play a game and look at my collection, my desire is to look at the games and think, okay, which one do I want to play, and know that what I'm looking at is all good games that are worth playing, and not have to sit there and be like, well, I don't want to play that one. That one's not good. That one's not good. And well, that one's okay at best and stuff. I just want to be able to be like, they're all good. So just take your pick and have fun. Of course, you could organize the games in such a way so that, separate the good from the not. But again, it's still, they just take up room, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I just can't really justify occupying a bunch of space for a bunch of games that I know I'm not going to play ever. Like I said, though, the only one where I feel like I would like to kind of one day collect all of, but that's one day, is for Super Nintendo, and that's just because it's my favorite console. But I don't know. We'll see. It's a long way to go before I have all of them for Super Nintendo. But at the same time, I've made a lot of progress on it too, so that's pretty cool. I like Sega Saturn games in terms of the appearance of the CD case. PlayStation looks nice too, but I find myself more often gravitating towards the appearance of Sega Saturn cases. Appearance, whatever you want to say there. I don't know, they seem to usually like look more visually appealing. There we go. I don't know, what do you want to call it? What would that be? What do you call that? I'm trying to think here of the word. I don't know. Not anxiety. I don't know. What I'm trying to explain, though, is just I'm going to be happy when these are clean, because they've been sitting in this box for a decent bit of time now, and I just kept thinking, I want to clean those, but I just hadn't gotten around to it. And it was always kind of like mentally on my mind, so it'll feel good to get these done. Man. See, I don't hear, look. Take a look, and I don't know. I think the reason why the Sega Saturn games, this is the same game, but it has differences between the two consoles, but I think I like the Saturn usually more because it's got the Sega Saturn logo there, and it just, I don't know, it looks nice with that gold there. Yeah, it just seems to have kind of a nice look to it. I never actually held them side by side like that. They're awfully similar on the side. The backs are both good looking. I guess it's just that front that seems to catch my eye on Saturn games that makes me prefer the appearance. I guess it's just that, because I never really took the time to consider why I was more pulled to the Saturn ones. Yeah, okay. don't think I'm gonna get much gunk from this one. I don't think, but do it anyway. Yeah, wow, it's actually cleaner than I was expecting. Cool. In case you missed it, what I'm doing here is a little bit of cleaning alcohol first. Get through the gunk. Then water. Just plain old water to clean off the alcohol. Otherwise, rubbing alcohol, I didn't actually investigate it too much in my earlier days of cleaning, but it just kind of leaves a bit of a residue there that I don't want. So I try to follow up, get rid of that residue, because I don't want anything like that on the game. My goodness, I think this is the last... There's a couple PlayStation 2 games, but otherwise this is the last, like, case size like this. Making progress. Slowly but surely. I want to beat the Gradius games. I've beaten number 1 on Famicom. Well, actually, I guess technically, no, that was actually NES. But I think the Famicom and the NES versions are pretty similar. Like, I don't think there's as many differences as there are in, like, Salamander, aka Life Force. I don't think, anyway. Should look into that. Make sure I'm correct on that statement. But I believe that's the case, anyway. But I tried to beat Gradius too. I tried. Well, okay, I tried somewhat. I didn't give it my all, that's for sure. And I was not able to beat it on my first attempt. Because actually, I think that was my first and only attempt to beat Gradius 2 on Famicom. I tell you, it's pretty tough. It's pretty dang tough. It's going to feel good to beat that game one day. I hope I do. I would like that very much. That's the kind where after you finish it, it feels really good and very rewarding. I'm not going to do this yet, but here's like one of the Mega Drive games. This is El Viento, and this is a Japanese version of a Sega Genesis game. I don't know if you guys haven't seen this before. This is kind of what they look like. So similar but different cartridge. So we got a few of those in there. Alright, we'll get these and then start cleaning the actual discs. That's the part that I honestly don't really care for a whole lot. It's kind of a bit of a nuisance because I'm definitely try to be very diligent about getting all the little specks of dust out of the inside area. The outside is like, you can leave a little out there on the case. It's not a big deal. But the inside, that's where I really want it super duper clean. And it's just getting every little teeny tiny fiber is just like... It's a pain in the butt. But it's worth it for me. Got that one right there. Might as well just go right to it. This game, Sylphid here, number 2. Looking forward to that one. Well, I'm looking forward to both of these, honestly, but this one just stood out a little more to me in a few ways. Ooh, that was a bit dirty there, a little bit, yeah. Alright, cool. Okay. This is a lot of cleaning. Alright. I don't know if I'm going to get to the Sega games tonight. The Mega Drive games. Depends how I'm feeling. Depends how long it takes me to get that stack taken care of, the discs there. So we'll see. I wonder what it's like as a Japanese collector trying to collect games. If you want to collect like US games, see, like as a US collector collecting games from Japan, it's a very nice experience because the Japanese, a lot of them take very good care of their belongings. Very good care. So even though these games are like 20-something years old, some of them, even 30-something years old, they're in amazing condition. Amazing. Try to buy games like that over here from people in the US, and well, you're gonna have a tough time finding games that old in really good shape. They're certainly around, but they're not plentiful like they are with the Japanese video game market. And I would imagine, yeah, if they're trying to collect, that it must be really like, oh my gosh, that one's in bad shape, that one's in bad shape, that one's like, you know, if you're trying to get like games in good shape, which is what I prefer myself anyway. Like, I don't need them to be in an incredible condition, but I do prefer them to be in nice shape. Although I am willing to settle for a game that's in not so good of condition, for sure, if the price is like substantially lower, which I've gotten a few deals on for sure. I've gotten some games that are in rough shape. They work, but they look rough, but they were like next to free, basically. So it's like, okay, I can settle for that. Okay. Ah, boy. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then in just a bit here we'll work on the inside of those and start cleaning the discs themselves and stuff like that. I could just use a little break, so I'll be back in just a few. What do we have for highlights here? Okay. All right, I'll be back. Grumpy there. Whatever. That's dumb. You can soft lock by throwing an item away. Yeah, that's really poopy, especially because I'm playing. I'm like, all right, we're proceeding, and we're like getting further along, and I have no idea. And now that it's like, and this is the last part, I think we're like super duper close, but no, can't proceed. Poor Andu indeed. If it helps, I think you are in the last like 30 minutes. Yeah, I am. I'm pretty sure. is it bad that Nick and I are sitting here laughing? If you're laughing at me, then yes. What kind of friends are you laughing at my pain? I'm just stuck here, and I don't wanna do it. I was about to say that Conrad wasn't the one that threw his teleporter into the bottomless pit, but I guess he was, actually. Yes. You're the one who made him do it? I need to slouch. Just... No. No, I don't want to do all that. That's so stupid. Why would they design it like that? I was so close. I was gonna blow up the planet and escape on the ship and be a hero. I'm getting none of that. None of it. Look, I'm getting splat. That's my reward. Splat. It's not a good reward. It's not a good reward. No. No. Darn it. Darn it. Why does this happen to me? Why does this happen when I play video games? Things break and they don't go the way I want them to.
Otto, that was some race.
Thanks. No, I'm very pleased with having won today. It just all went smoothly. Pit stops were good, the car bounced well, and chose the right tires. I guess someone up there pressed all the right buttons.
Do a good steak? Excellent. Yay. Araya, hey, welcome back. Is it, what time is it? It's 11. Are you getting ready for bed, Araya? Is it about that time? Wait, I'm actually still on my PC and not ready for sleep. Oh, you already knew, I was going to ask. She comes in quite often and then she just, I guess, just goes to bed. Bloop. I've been told, I've been told that sometimes when I talk like this, people get a little like, like, oh my gosh, Andy, what's happening right now? They get a little tired. I think I'm just falling asleep right now. So, like, apparently some of my viewers just come in and just go to bed. Andy's terrible stream shenanigans / sleepy stream, I guess? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, frickety... Oh, wait. Oh, frickety frick. Poop on a stick. You said boom. I did say boom, and I'm going to say boom again. Boom! After you said that, I'm sorry. Squirrel, I had to drop that on you. I couldn't help it. And then I was like a little confused. Okay. Alright, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, alright. Now come here. You're going left, right? Okay. Oh, she's pissed. Damn. No, where are you going? Hey! What? What are you doing, lady? Come on. Come on. Dude, this lady is out of her mind.
But yet still, in Ghana fight.
There we go. Finally, man.
Well done. Brilliant drive.
I can't move. I'm stuck. Don't you drive me off the ledge. Don't you drive me off the ledge. What are you doing?
About to fix the tire. Should be back any minute.
Oh. Okay. Sure. Let's just keep playing the game. I don't know what that was. strange things are happening right now. This mission is full of... What is that word? When stuff is weird? I think we have some kind of a... What is that word when it's full of, like, evil spirits and it's crazy? Not possessed, but the other one. I don't remember that word. But it needs to be exercised. We have a mission that is just... Poltergeist! Thank you! It's a poltergeist! Yes! We have the evil poltergeist mission here. And, you know, it took me so long, and then I had to be corrected via chat. But we got it, so that's good. Curb Frost, welcome back, Curb. Haven't seen you in a little while. How you been?
What will the future bring from Nintendo? More hits like Super Mario Brothers. Arcade hits like Kung Fu. Nintendo has the most video game hits. Hogan's Alley, Duck Hunt, and more like baseball and Excitebike. And you can play them only on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Oh! Wow. I apparently made him angry. He wasn't having it. What was that about? Did you guys see that? I gotta highlight that. He, like, died himself up the staircase. It's like he realized, oh, I'm gonna die, but I can't die on a staircase. Let me just throw myself up this. We gotta try that again. If I can repeat that. Come on.
アンディはひ弱だった。薪割りをサボってカップヌードルを食べることにした。疲れた。彼は疲れていた。ガーリック星人が現れた。ガーリック星人の放つ香ばしいガーリック。まさにガーリックパワー。カップヌードルスタミナ誕生。
アンディ。わお、なんて立派に。
Actually, I have to break out my Super Famicom when I play this. So here we go. Everything, you know, you're like, hey, this looks good, right? You know, there's no problem here. But then, you know, you want to play the game, and you know, we'll do Blue Falcon. Why not? Okay. Watch it work just fine. Watch it be like I just fixed it magically. It's It's Alright, I'm gonna try. Hang on, here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, there it is. Okay, nope. Wait, I think right more? Okay, right more. Okay, there we go. Wait, I think. Wait, I'm a little too left. Okay, nope. Crap. Okay, right more. There we go. No, wait. Hang on. Alright, let's slow down. Okay, there it is. Wait. Alright, I'm not gonna press any directions, and I think I'm good then. There we go. Okay, turn. Ah, crap! Oh! If I could just get one lap. I think... Okay, here we go. Yeah, nice and easy around the turn. Don't hit me, guys. Don't hit me. Yeah, I'm going in the right direction. If I can just get one lap, I'll be happy. I think we got it. Wait, what? But what? I guess I got too far. I've never had that happen before. I never actually went that far behind. Okay. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you play a Super Nintendo that's broken, with the Mode 7 anyway. And if you guys are like, hey, how did your Super Nintendo break? Most likely, it's because of Game Genie. I heard Game Genies can wreck them. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So there you go. So let me plug back in the good Super Nintendo now, and we'll get back to Metroid. Stream. And good evening to you as well, Nova. Indeed. Yes, indeed. You know you guys like it. Come on now. It's the way it has to be.
Now I want a beard? Well, if you, you know, some people actually have trouble growing beard. Whoa, whoa! Whoa! Okay. Some people have... Yes! You like that? Some people have trouble growing a beard. That's understandable. And if you need a little assistance, I highly recommend you go to your local Home Depot, Lowe's, or other home and garden center. Get yourself some Miracle-Gro and just sprinkle a little around the key areas. Avoid here and around the eyes. That is actually a major turnoff for the ladies. As soon as you become like the Wolverine, usually the ladies are a little like, oh, that's too much. So just around here in the key areas, and then you know, you will be on your way to a very successful life of beard and happiness. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. This is true. See, Introplosion came and see, Introplosion was like, is Andy talking about the beard? I think Andy's talking about the beard. I better get on there quick. He knew it. See, I heard and he knew it. He knew it. That's right. Little of this for you, Intro, right there, buddy, right there, cause I loves ya so much.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I had like 3 almonds and like 2 cashews and a pecan, or 2, yeah. It was a nice snack. It was very yummy. Now I'm gonna be full for 10 years. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. I had to kind of figure out my game plan here. All right. So let's see what we're looking at. Sometimes, oh yeah, that's right. This one came with like everything. Sometimes you get lucky. You can get these games with all kinds of little goodies and stuff. It's kind of on the rare side, but this has like everything included. The registration card, and I'm not sure what this particular thing is. And then there's like even a little like thing where you can make an actual ship out of paper. They call it Papercraft. That's pretty cool. Got myself a little cleaning cloth here. Shake that off a little bit. Okay. Set that there. Alright. Alright. This disc is in pretty good shape. Yeah. So, actually, if you guys will be able to, yeah, I guess you can see. Okay, that's good. Because I don't usually, actually, hang on. It's been a little bit since I've done this. So I have an order that I go in, and I'm not going in it. Okay. Hey, Moomeow. Mic setup is weird? What do you mean? What's wrong with the microphone, or what's weird about it? Also, welcome back. Can you understand me? Oh. Well, I think I can fix that for you. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can fix that for you. Okay. Let me know how that goes. I'll try a little over here, and yeah, let me know if that fixes it for you, please. Hopefully that did. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. I didn't actually know that this microphone in the current setting would do that. Nobody's ever told me that before, so I'm glad you pointed that out. That's definitely not what I want. But then again, I don't usually move around all that much when I'm doing this, when I'm sitting here, so it probably just never came up before. But that's good to know. Thank you. I have not seen you in a little while. How have you been? Are you still doing tournaments? And if so, how have they been? Are you winning? Kicking butt? Okay. Where'd my... Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Sure, maybe. I can definitely see how that would be very annoying though on headphones. Actually, or on speakers too. But I seem to be very sensitive to audio compared to other people. From what I've noticed, other people seem to be able to let that stuff go more than I do. Definitely bothers me if, like, I would have something like you described, like audio going from left to right. That would really bother me. Fortunately, I happen to know how to fix it very quickly, so that's good. I just didn't even realize it was a thing. Took a break from tournaments because summer people don't take showers. Oh wait. Took a break because summer. People don't take showers. I didn't want to be at the venue in summer. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You know, it's funny, at the marathons, they actually had to implement rules, and one of the rules is that you have to shower. Because people, I guess, were showing up to the marathons, the speedrunning marathons, like crazy. Like, it was like just lots of people showing up and not showering, and the place was pretty stinky. I found that kind of funny. I knew that was going to be a silly idea, and I did it anyway. Okay. Good. Hey. Get out of there. This is where it gets kind of like annoying cleaning these disc games and stuff. You know what? I've got canned air now. You know what? I'm going to take advantage of that. That's what I'm going to do. That'll help a lot, because what happens, I want every little tiny fiber out of all of this. Hey, Mumbles. It's a legit strategy some people use for the largest tournaments. They don't shower for weeks. That actually makes sense. I do understand the logic there, but that's kind of messed up. That's like... I feel like that's really, kind of like... If you're concerned that your gaming skill isn't good enough and you want to get an edge by... Please explain. Well, I would imagine it's in order to... hello, Mr. Retro Rewind. Welcome to the stream. Hi back at you. But I would imagine the not taking showers in order to smell bad at a tournament is to distract your opponents. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, they're gonna lose focus because they're just gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be weighing on them. Man, this person really stinks. Like, I can understand that, but I went to LAN parties when I was younger, many years ago, and I definitely sometimes sat next to some people that were quite stinky, and I was like, man, and I ended up moving. But yeah, like in a tournament setting, yeah, that would be really, that's really messed up, and like, I just feel like that's if you have to resort to that, then just, you know, get better or something. Yep. That exactly, yeah. That makes sense to me. It really does. Like, just because you're slightly distracted and stuff. Oh yeah. And that's going to work on your nerves. I mean, that's a mental game there for sure, cuz you know, you're going to be stressed out. You're like, "Man, this person's, you know, putting out a serious smell." Like, I mean, if they don't take showers for weeks to make themselves purposely smell that bad, that's quite the strategy. That really is. How many SNES games you own? I think, Mr. Retro, I think something like 650 something or so, somewhere around there. If you type in !games in chat there, it'll take you to a list of my current games that I have added to my spreadsheet there, and you can see what I have. There's 3 that are currently not on that list that I have yet to add, but otherwise that list is up to date. Patient players could become less patient because they want to get to... Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, that totally makes sense, Moo Meow. Yeah. Sounds itchy? If you mean like not showering for that long and stuff, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hey, let me grab some canned air real quick. Okay, this stuff is really useful, but gosh, it's annoying to like use it because the handle on it is like, it's made for somebody with smaller hands, I guess. Thank you, Mr. Retro. 247, that's nice. That's very nice. That's quite the amount there. Sounds like you're coming along very nicely. Super Nintendo is the only console that I'm somewhat attempting to collect all games for. But that's like, I'm not going out of my way to get the games that I don't really care to play as of right now, because I want to get the games that I actually want to play first. And then later on, maybe I'll try to collect the rest. But right now, a lot of those games are either for... Because I'd like to play through every Super Nintendo game. That was the idea anyway. But I don't know if I want to do that now. It was the clean pile. Yay! Anyway, what was I going to say? Mentally sidetracked here because I'm trying to... Okay, I'll put that there, I guess. Yeah. I'm trying to get the games. Anyway, like, trying to get the games that I really want to play first. Even though I have a bunch of sports games there, I don't have any desire to play those, but that was for part of a challenge I was working on. Oh, okay. Yeah, that I can understand, yeah. If I don't take a shower for long enough, it really bothers me, especially in Florida because, you know, it's so hot here. Missing like 28, mostly sports and whatnot. That's pretty good. I think the amount of Nintendo 64 games released in the US is something like 297, if I recall. I think. Normally you shake hands after the match is done, but a strategy is to shake before playing, and their hands are sticky from weeks of sweat and not showering. Dude, that's so, like... That's so gross. Like, gross in the way of, like... how do I explain this? Gross in the way of, like... I guess, like, you know, smell and physical grossness, but also gross in a way of just, like, that's really mean, and, like, I don't like that. Like, that's just, man, that's really, like, I just feel if you're resorting to that kind of thing, just, man, that's, like, not cool in my book. That's very interesting, though. Thank you for, sharing that, Moo Meow, because that's, I never, thought about people really using that as a strategy, but it makes sense. It really does, unfortunately. Not supposed to shampoo your hair too much? Oh, okay. That also makes sense, sure. Counter strategy is to the handshake is to hold up a fist bump instead. Yeah, that would be me. If I was in that position, absolutely. I'd be like, I am not shaking your hand if you're doing that on purpose, kind of thing. I'm not much for shaking hands anyway, though. That's not really for me anyway, because a lot of people don't wash their hands after, you know, going to the bathroom and stuff like that. So it's, for me, it's more like sanitary reasons and stuff. I'm not much for touching anyway. Not really. There's some spots on here that kind of don't want to clean up so easily, it seems. Give them a little more oomph here. I think I might use a little alcohol on the top here to try to clean it, if I can't get it with a little extra pressure. Hate that kind of... Yeah, I don't care for that either, Mumbles. That's definitely full bodysuit and not just the standard speed. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does feel like cheating to me too. That definitely feels like it just feels wrong. And the handshaking, yeah, I would be very against that. I would like submit a complaint or something. That seems kind of like silly. It's not like a handshake is gonna really actually do anything anyway. Like, I know it's supposed to be kind of like, good game, and just like a mutual understanding of like, let's have a good match. But if people are sitting there, obviously not taking baths and like grossing themselves up and whatnot, there's no honor. The honor is gone and not coming back anytime soon at that point. So it's like, don't even bother. Alright, I'm gonna clean this with a bit of alcohol on this side. Yeah, I will shake hands. I just don't like it, but it really depends. Like on the person and stuff too. It all depends. Like, I've had a few people approach me that want to shake hands, and I'm like, whoa, I do not want to shake that person's hand because they just had something about them that really felt not good. So then I'll just politely decline. Fortunately, I don't mind declining that kind of stuff or speaking up about it, making the situation awkward or whatever. Like, I'm fine with that if it's comes to that. I don't like it to come to that if I can help it, because I don't want to make somebody else uncomfortable either, but I'm not like, fortunately I'm not like concerned about it like I know some people can be. I feel lucky about that. There we go. This is looking much better. This is what I wanted to see. Cool. Okay. All right. That looks significantly better. I highly doubt you'll be able to actually see the difference. Unfortunately, I wish this camera was a little better for that, but that is a significant improvement. I'm happy with that. I'll definitely take that. Where people would, on free shots, run forward to fake out a shot left, then punt right as the goalie dives left. Maybe in a new rule because it was making fans fight? Really? Interesting. Why would that make fans... Oh, maybe because it's like, oh, that's cheap or something, and then they get... Okay, I guess that I can see that. Just pull a Howie Mandel. I'm germophobic. I don't shake. And offer a fist bump. Oh. $20. Andy doesn't know who that is. You would have won $20. I think maybe I've heard that name before. Maybe. But if you told me, like, look at pictures and pick out who that is, no. You would win that bet in a heartbeat. Absolutely. You just got yourself $20. This is pretty clean, I think. Yeah, I keep going backwards. Clean this off first. My brain is a little elsewhere, I think, at the moment. Not even sure where it is. I just don't think it's entirely here. Okay. Good. You definitely have heard of him. You'd probably recognize him to see him. Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the name sounds slightly familiar. Maybe. Man, this is the way to do it. I used to do this like without canned air and just, wipe it off constantly, and it would be like such a wrestling match. But this just seems to take care of all of that. Mostly. Sorry, I know I'm not holding it in the best spot for you guys to see everything I'm doing. It's because I'm kind of trying to keep things separated here. I don't want to blow the dust all over this spot where I just clean it. Okay. Hold it here-ish. That'll work. Cool. Yeah, alright. Oh, hey, get out of here. Another one done. Okay, so a free shot, hang on, scroll up, I want to see that. Free shot is goalie reaction versus kicker, but this strat just made the goalie dive one side, then they do a little girly kick the other side, so it's not actually competition of skills, but trickery. Ah, I see, okay. Basically kind of like Susie pulling away the football. Susie pulling. Is that from Peanuts? Is that what that means? Cause oh, Lucy. I was gonna say, isn't her name something else? But it sounds like you're describing Peanuts. Had no shot clock, so one team would just pass the ball around in circles in between teammates and bore the audience to death. This almost killed basketball. Oh, you know, I remember when I was working on the challenge of the sports games, and I was thinking to myself that the shot clock is really annoying, and it was just always like a pain in the butt. But then when I was, thinking about that, my immediate next thought was, well, wait a minute. I suppose if that didn't exist though, then they would probably do exactly that. So yeah, it does make sense. Her name is Lucy. Okay. And she's the one that always threatens to, isn't she saying about always threatening to knock off people's blocks? Like, I'm gonna knock your block off and stuff. Is that her? Because that's what Heather always does. She threatens to knock my block off, and I believe that she's quoting that, I think. Although she hasn't threatened me with that too much lately, so that's nice. I must be behaving myself, I guess. Do a little better there. Lowest score in basketball history is 1918. Oh. Did not know that. There's a lot about sports I don't know, though. Most of you probably know that I know hardly anything about sports. This one's a little dusty here. Yeah, let's wipe this off. Very gently. Yeah, I'll try to hold it there. That might be better for you guys to see. Maybe. Very careful. There's a little spot there. I think it'll be alright. Okay. This side too. Nothing worse in sports than one team keep away. Isn't keep away a strategy though? I can see how it would be very boring, but I figured that would actually be a very viable strategy. Cool. Man, this is working out very nicely. Yeah. So annoyed. I'm in that in between place. Too sleepy to do anything but not sleep. Oh, that is an annoying state to be in. Absolutely, yeah. Bit cheap to do? Sure. Yeah, it's understandable. I'm gonna go grab another can of air, because I have 2 of them. And, excuse me, that way I can kind of interchange between them, because, you know, they get super cold. And then they don't put out air. Lag is real? Oh, okay. Well, you know how slow I read anyway, so that's good. I understand the logic there, Mumbles. I definitely see what you're getting at. I don't know if I sounded like I was trying to justify or whatnot, but it is interesting. Sure, Tinker. Yeah, yeah. I don't like it either. It definitely gives me issues like that too. 1 second. Apparently now what they do with this stuff is they put a some kind of stuff in it, some kind of, I don't know what it comes from, like some sort of a food or something, or a spice in nature, but they purposely attempt to make the air have a very bitter taste to it. And that's because, I guess, of people doing what they call whippets and stuff like that with it. Trying to prevent that. I knew a few people that would do that. It would definitely mess them up pretty good. This game actually needs a little bit of extra attention, I think. Yeah, okay. Do a little crotcheting. Sounds good. Nice. This is cleaning up pretty well here, it seems. I think this was resurfaced at some point. Sometimes it's easy to tell, other times not quite so much, because each machine seems to do it a little different. Well, not each machine, but there are different ways that they seem to go about it that seem to be more noticeable or not so noticeable. That's another thing too, actually. Buying disc-based games in the United States versus Japan is just like, oh, it's a nightmare. Because everybody has a different perception of what good condition is of a disc. They'll say, oh, it's in great shape, and then it's like scratched up like crazy. Some people like will sell something or whatever as like being like new, and it's, you know, it's got several scratches all over and stuff, and it's like, no, I disagree with that statement. It can be very difficult to get discs in good condition at times. Try a little water there. A little bit. Is it not grabbing? There we go. MFW. People who leave discs on top of TVs or tables, that always drove me mad. Yeah. I agree. Absolutely. Like, just leaving it out, laying face down, I guess face, well, I don't know what you consider the face, actually. Yeah, just leaving it so that this part, the data part, is like on the surface, that's like going to damage and all that. Yeah, that's hard for me to look at. It's like, no, what are you doing? MFW. My effing word? Is that what that means? That's what I'm gonna guess. My Fenestrual Walrus? My face when? Ah! I feel like I should have known that too. Alright, let's wipe this off. All right. Yeah, sometimes you can pretty much tell right away with some of these sellers if the CD is going to be messed up, because when they go to take the picture of it, I've seen people actually put a disc like right down on the ground to take a picture of it. It'll be on like their kitchen floor. It'll be outside on concrete, literally setting a CD down on concrete to take a picture of it. I'm not even kidding. I'm just like, that's so cringe to me. Like, I've actually, and it's crazy too, I've actually seen that on more than one occasion, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. Like, how can you go to sell that item and then claim it's in good shape and then have just set it down on freaking cement? Like, no. No, no, no. You just don't do that. But I don't know, people do that. Obviously, I would imagine, a large part of it is just, ignorance of how that works and stuff. But still, it's just, like, it's very hard still to see that, and it's just like, nope. Good luck selling that game as like new now. And yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of people where they try to pass off something. They'll be like, you know, it's in like new condition, and then I get it, and it's not at all. And then I'm like, hey now, this is not correct. Please make better. I am not happy about this. I try to be polite though. I never get mad and like digitally yell at people for that kind of stuff or something. I express that I'm not pleased and that I feel taken advantage of. But I always try to be very civil when I'm discussing things like that with people if I have a disagreement. And most of the time that works out pretty well. Cement is rough. I mean, yeah, I know. I know. I've worked with cement as well. I've mixed it. I've poured it. I've fallen on it. I know cement as well. And yeah, it's just it's so funny to me. It's like, of all surfaces, why would you take it outside into your driveway and then take a picture of it? Like, why not the kitchen counter? Or don't you have like a table or just something? Not the freaking front yard driveway. I need to work on that. Oh, just thinking about that's gonna bother you? Oh, okay. If I'm trying to, because I've sold a couple CD games that I didn't want anymore, or I had like an extra of somehow. Wiping this off again because it looked like it just had a little more on it. I think we're good though. Yeah, okay. I've sold a couple though. And when I sell a CD game, the way that I try to sell it to show, if I want to show it, is it's really simple. I just have it in the case like this. I take a picture of it face side up, and then when I want to show the other side, I just flip it over like that, and then I take a picture of this side, and then I'm done. It's like no problem there. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Because people like to often take it out of the case, and the case is right next to it in the picture, but then the disc is just laying on the ground, and I'm just like, why? Why not just leave it in the case and take the picture? It's what it's designed to do, is hold the game and keep it from being in like a bad place, but oh well. Again, you know, it's like, I know ultimately it just comes down to people not really thinking it through. But it is hard to look at. It's very hard to look at. It's like, oh my gosh, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, satin sheet would work great. That would definitely work great. Where's this side? Yeah, we'll give it a little. Okay. Right? This game looks quite ridiculous. Looking forward to it. Honestly, all these games pretty much I'm looking forward to. Excited. Looks pretty good. Just gotta get Man, what Mumia was talking about. Just remembered that. Just people not taking showers in order to, you know, win those competitions. That's so, like, what a lousy strategy. If you have to rely on making yourself stink to win a competition, then I think you just shouldn't be there in the first place. You should be at home practicing. Okay, I think this is good. I think so. What's that? I'm just imagining someone taking a new disc, putting it on concrete, and the grainy concrete gouging the disc hole. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's ugh. Just no. Hang on a second here. Oh, yeah, I wanna get that. Had a little bit extra stuff on there. There we go. Aha! Now that. There we go. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, this one is still really cold. Jeez. These things don't warm back up too quickly. Okay. I'm glad I have two here to use. Just kind of bounce back and forth between them. Normally, I don't use cans of air to clean stuff. I have a compressor that I use for that, an air compressor. And in case you don't know like what that is, it's basically this thing that compresses air into a very small space, building up a ton of pressure, and then you can use it for lots of pneumatic tools. Pneumatic, if I recall, the definition is like basically like air powered. So you can use air powered tools with an air compressor, and but it's also really good because you can just, you know, use it to blow the air out of it and clean stuff. They're really good for that, and it comes out very, very, very strong. Like, I mean, like if you think canned air comes out strong, it's got nothing on an air compressor by comparison. Absolutely nothing. But you got to be careful, because an air compressor, you don't want to accidentally like put the air on yourself. You don't want to like shoot yourself with that air, or whatever you want to call it, because it can actually hurt you, do real damage. Some people think it's like, oh, I'll just goof off, and then it's like, oh, oops, okay, you know, you actually do damage. I wish I could enjoy maintaining things like you. I struggle with that. Can you elaborate a little, Mumbles? I don't, I guess I don't fully understand. Where's the struggle? What's the struggle? I would like to know. Excuse me. I used to dust myself off after work with an air compressor. Those things aren't toys. Yeah. Yeah, they're great for that. Yeah, you, like, I would imagine because you were working with that concrete, because that concrete will make you freaking nasty in, like, no time. You go to take a shower. You know, you get in the shower, and it's just like, you know, your shower's all nice and clean, and then you get in the shower, and it just turns it like this muddy, gray, color, and you're like, what the heck? Your hair's, oh man, been there, done that. No thanks. I don't care for that lifestyle too much. But an air compressor, yeah, that's just funny because yeah, they do work well to just air yourself off, and yeah, they are not toys. Unless you know the screwdriver trick. That's just cool. Man, this canned air is so annoying to use. The handle on it is just dinky. It's made for somebody with like really small hands, I guess. Almost there. Okay. Did I do this? I think I did. Just make sure. Yeah, that's better. Much, much better. Yeah. Ah, another one down. Like, no enthusiasm in maintaining. Feels like a chore without meaning, I suppose. Maybe I need a higher sense of self-respect, perhaps. Interesting logic there, Mumbles, to make that connection. I'd like to give that some thought sometime. Maybe now. You might be onto something there, Mumbles. That's just a very interesting thought process. I like where you're going with that. I find that very intriguing. Well, if that's the case, then I hope you get that. Huh. I really like that. For me, maintaining stuff, like, to keep it taken care of and clean, the chore of it is, like, I don't enjoy it. There isn't very much satisfaction there. Exactly. Like, there's some, but overall, the way that I clean stuff and put it away, it's with the intent that I won't have to clean it again, hopefully. But like routine cleaning, yeah, that's oh man, that's not. I don't care for that. I'll do it, but I don't care for it. I think you, despite a lot of things, respect yourself a lot, which isn't the same as like putting on a pedestal. Just respect. I am happy to hear you say that. Because I feel that is a very accurate description of my mentality there. Yes. That is what goes through my mind. Yeah. I do try my best to respect myself. But the pedestal thing, I appreciate that you saying that too, because I guess the way that I view the pedestal thing is the higher you sit on your pedestal, the more it hurts when you fall off. And everybody falls down at one time or another. And if you're sitting way up there, and you fall off, it's going to hurt a lot. And I like it down here. I'm just fine with being on the ground. Just fine. I must say though, it's very nice to see you say that, and that's your perception of me, because that is certainly how I would want to be viewed, as somebody that well, just like you described there, that is how I feel and what I want to be seen as. Definitely not somebody trying to flaunt themselves or something. You know, it's just really nice to have that bit of confirmation there. Thank you for that. Thanks. It's definitely nice to hear. Okay. I like the look of this disc. Look at this thing. They actually made it go all the way to the center and everything. Looks cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. Alright. This one's got a decent amount of dust, but it looks like very light dust. A couple little fingerprints too there. A little bit. Maybe I'll use a little water, actually, just a little bit. Yeah, okay. Don't get lazy, Andy. Sometimes I do. I want to, I should say. I'm just like, you know, especially this many games, like that's part of the thing too, is like, you know, after you clean so many and stuff, it's like you want to get a little lazy about like, oh, well, there is a couple fingerprints, but I can let it go. And ultimately the game will probably still work just fine with a few fingerprints on it, but I'd rather just do it right the first time and get it clean. Plus, it'll just make life easier on the laser of the system anyway. Ah, there we go. There we go. Worth it. Definitely worth it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Read that in a second. Ah, man, another game I'm very much looking forward to. This game looks very interesting. Okay. How's that inside look? Yeah, that could use a little water action just to get that initial dust out of there. There we go. Not yet. I'll set this over there. People confuse respect with popularity. Highly some are regarded. I is giving due regards, so I think you understand well what regards are due, I suppose. That's an understandable thing to like have where people get confused about that, for sure. I can definitely see what you're saying there. I think a lot of people like, because sometimes I will drop the word ignorant, and I think ignorant also can be very insulting for a lot of people to hear, which is why anytime I use that word, I always try to follow it up with, you know, and I mean it in the most truest sense of just lack of knowledge, because it's not, I never intend it to be an insult. It's just lack of knowing. But yeah, a lot of people seem to take that word as a very strong negative at times, from what I've noticed anyway. So I try to always make sure when I use words in conversation that may have the potential to be received negatively, to always just kind of explain myself as well, if I feel that that might be an issue. I always ask when people say I'm ignorant, I ask, ignorant of what? Sure. Not gonna know unless you ask too. Cool. I think that's good. Yeah. Oh man. Another game very excited to play. I think that's clean, but just yeah, a little bit there. Good. Yay! Another one done. Feels good to get these games as well, just for the sake of doing my best to take care of them for the future. It's kind of, I don't know, my own little preservation of these games. Just because I love video games so much, it's like, I always just think about, it's like each game tells its own story. Even if the game is regarded as not having a story, it still tells its story through gameplay. Or lack thereof. That's a little dirty there. Let me get this side here. I need to wash this one down. For sure. There we go. So, I don't know. I guess that's always like... Sometimes people say, you know, why do you put in so much effort to cleaning your games? Like, so diligently and stuff. You know, it's like... Can't you just, like, I don't know, put it on the shelf as is? And sure, I could, but I just really want these games to last as long as possible. Even longer than me, if possible. Like, even though I'll be gone one day, and then I won't even care. Still like the idea that the next person in line to get these games will just be like, wow, this person really cared about their games and took good care of them, and maybe they'll appreciate that. And then they'll get to enjoy the games as well. Have fun playing them, and yeah. This game was resurfaced. I can tell. That's kind of unfortunate. But as long as it works and I take good care of it, then hopefully it will never need to be resurfaced again. What I'm doing right now is I see a little bit of gunk from the resurfacing process left over in a small crevice around the ring here, so I'm just removing that leftover gunk. There we go. Thank you, by the way, everybody, for that's here and just keeping me company while I do this. I could sit here and just do this by myself, but it is nice just to have some company. Even if you're lurking and you're not talking, that's just fine. I always like to compare it to the idea of like, it's kind of like, you know, maybe you have a couple friends over and you're just sitting on the couch playing some video games, and maybe you're not even like saying much to each other, if anything, but you're just there, you know, still in company. You just, you know, they're just right there, and it's kind of like that for me. I don't know how much that made sense, but that's how it feels. It's just nice. Good. Jeez, I know I said it before, but I really wish the handle on these air cans was designed better for somebody with larger hands. It's just very awkward to use. Ah, man. How many left? We have, including this one, 5 games left for the CD-based games like this. But one of them is a 4-disc game thing, so that's gonna be a lot of discs to deal with, but whatever. Keep at it. This is a Parodius game. This one is called Sexy Parodius. I believe it is the last Parodius that they've ever made. I believe it is, anyway. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it is. I wonder if it's been resurfaced. I don't think so. Or if it has, I can't tell, but I don't think so. Just has a little bit of stuff on it there. A little bit. Yeah. Use the other side here. You know, I've seen a few, I don't watch game reviews too much, actually. But on the rare occasion that I have, I've seen some game reviewers where they'll take the game out and look at the manual and stuff, and they'll be like opening the manual and like just very hard on the game, like just folding the pages and stuff and whatnot, and maybe crinkling them, whatever. And that's fine, by the way. That is completely fine. When it's your game, it's your stuff, you do whatever the heck you want with it. Is, you know, that is fine. But I'm not gonna lie, it is a little cringeworthy for me. It's just like, oh man, that poor game. But that's just because I'd like to keep things in, you know, pristine condition. So it can be a little hard to watch. It's like, no, what did that game ever do to you? Maybe this was resurfaced. Sometimes you gotta get it in the right light. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like maybe it was. top side. We're good to go. Actually, I want to wipe that off. These air cans are good, but they're not like, they're certainly not air compressor good, so I need to like assist them initially. Get the big stuff out of the way. Anything that like sticks a little bit. Then come back in and get all the like small little loose stuff. There we go. Yeah. So what have you been playing besides Code Vein? What's Code Vein? Is that like... I'm guessing there's like a meaning to what that means or something? Because I do not know what Code Vein is. But games as of lately? Ion Fury. I think you were here when I was playing that. Thought you said you're playing it? No, I don't even know what that is. Maybe I had a misunderstanding. Of what you're talking about there, maybe, or something? But yeah, I never even heard of that game, I'm pretty sure. Or if it was mentioned, I forgot or something. I don't know. Because that doesn't sound familiar at all. I don't think so. Use Steam game, huh? Yeah, I was gonna say I really that doesn't ring a bell like at all, Mumbles. Like I'm thinking here, but no, I don't believe so. Gay-Van! Where's Aces? He's missing out on the Gay-Van. It's pretty good, I think. Yeah. I imagine that game would sell really well to the right buyers. Probably. Especially if you give them a good story about it, maybe cook something up. It's definitely not at all what it sounds like. That's for sure. I don't know if you heard me mention it before, but it's a beat 'em up. I have no idea how they got the idea to name it Gay-Van, but it's hilarious. It's been the source of many laughs for me that they named it that. I appreciate the fact that a game called Gay-Van can exist and be a beat 'em up. It actually looks like a very fun game, though. I'm looking forward to... Well, I keep saying that, but it's just true. But I am looking forward to this one as well. Like, it definitely looks like a fun little game. It doesn't look like amazing, but it certainly looks enjoyable. And it's 2-player. You can pick between playing as a boy or a girl. And then I believe you can play at the same time. So I might be able to convince Heather to play with me. She said she wanted to play the gay van with me, so I was like, yeah. Hopefully that'll be alright. I think so. Did I wipe off? I don't think I did that yet. Let me get that too. All over the place here. It's a little dirty on the inside there. There we go. I'm so happy to be getting these finally cleaned. Some of these have been sitting there for quite a while. Just hadn't gotten around to it. Man, I hate these things. Oh, it's Deca. Galaxy Deca. Okay. Wonder what the Deca means. Galaxy Deca. Ah, man, getting close, getting close. Hang in there, Andy. We're almost there. Almost there. Getting a little tired. A little bit. It is fairly late for me at this point, but I would like to keep working on this. Oh, this side's in pretty good shape for the most part. Barely any fingerprint action on the sides. That's another thing too. When I handle these, I try so hard not to get any fingerprints on it. Very specific the way that I handle it. Sometimes I goof and I grab it a little awkwardly and I get a little fingerprint on the side or something. But overall, works out pretty well most of the time. Oh, there we go. Oops, missed a little spot. I can smell the air a little bit there, and how they made it bitter. It does have a bit of a smell, even just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, this one's in pretty good shape. Yeah. Nice. I can't believe they had to do that because people huff that stuff. Oh. it's a very strange and interesting world we live in. Yeah, all the people that I knew that did it, I don't know. I was like, why do you do that? They each had their own reasons, but ultimately, it's just they enjoyed it. Oh, man. Gippy. I don't think this is going to be too difficult to clean this, because these actually look pretty darn clean already. That's nice. Yeah, it's actually really pretty good looking here. Grab it this way. There we go. Okay, careful now. Careful now. Don't drop it. I see very small little, I don't know what you'd call them, blemishes or something. That to me is the sign of somebody blew on this at one point or another a long time ago. I'm gonna have to remove that. And alcohol is usually the way to go to get rid of when somebody's gotten spittle on it. Sure. Yeah. Seems like everybody's got a little something they're willing to do. Or mostly everybody. But I say, yeah. Ultimately for me, I think you probably can guess my attitude on a lot of that stuff, which is just, I don't really care what somebody wants to do to their body, as long as they're not hurting other people. That's pretty much where I kind of draw my lines. I don't like to get into other people's business, I really don't, because I don't like when people get into mine. So I think it's only fair. I think I got that stuff off. Usually comes off pretty quick with alcohol. It's basically people, they blow on it to try to clean it off, and then gets very small amounts of spit on there, and then that spit starts to germinate and grow, and oh yeah, much better. If I see that on another one of these discs, I will attempt to show you guys. I should have done that with this one, but I didn't really think of it because I'm just kind of on a mission here. Maybe the next one I can show. Good. Interesting. Huh. Do you have kids, Mumbles? Because the way you're talking there, it kind of sounds like you do. Sounds like it anyway. Alright, let me see if this one has any. It looks like it does actually, yeah, okay. Not nearly as much as the first disc, but it does have some. I don't know if I can show it on camera though. Might be really tricky to show you guys. But let's see. Okay. Alright. Let's find a spot to show it. Okay. It's very, very faint on this disc. Very faint, but maybe I can show you. This does not look good. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this is gonna work. I had it actually at the beginning there. I kind of had like a decent spot. You might be able to see it above my, right there above my finger. It's basically you're looking at little white spots on there. Those little white spots are the germination of spit. So basically, yeah, somebody took the disc and just, you know, blew on it, and wasn't very careful, I guess. But fortunately, we can deal with that, even if it gets a little out of hand, which I've seen in the past, you know. No, this is okay. We should be able to get this clean, no problem. Get this real quick while I'm at it. Oh, you did see it. Okay, cool. No kids, just more social than I used to be and have a few friends who rely on me. Oh, okay. Okay. I see. That makes sense, too. Alright, get the alcohol again here. I feel like each of these discs is most likely going to have the spittle build up on it. Got my work cut out for me on this thing. 4 discs. 4 friggin' discs. Hey. But once it's done, it's done. Then we can move on. That's good. Alright. This is definitely one of those things where you know, it gets worse before it gets better. It's probably good. Just be sure though. Okay. Alright. Come back with our water. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Give it another pass here. And then dry. Let's see in a second here what we're looking at. Yeah, much better. Much better. Yeah, look at that. Okay, yeah. This thing is like really in good shape now. Got rid of all of that gunk. Yeah. All right. Come on. Good. I know I can be really rude. But I also grew up kind of thinking nobody's going to treat me decent unless I'm combative or deceptive, so solving intense conflicts, I worry about how fair I'm being. Fortunately, I think I worry more than needed, so I guess there's not much real risk. You know, Mumble, that actually sounds very familiar what you're saying there. I grew up thinking that the world was quite different as well, because I lived in a very hostile environment and Yeah, it was not good. I feel like, for me anyway, and this kind of sounds like it's the same for you to some degree, I feel like it's like actually like a good thing if you want to look at the, you know, the positive of it, try to find the good in it. Because if you grow up in an area or environment or something where you're exposed to a lot of negativity and you know that you don't like it, then you're definitely, I feel like you're going to be much more sensitive to it when dealing with other people, because you don't want to do that to them, if that's your desire anyway. You know, it's kind of, some people, you know, they get bitter and then they want to do that to other people, and other people are like, I don't want to do that because I hated it, and that's how I feel. I'm like, man, it was awful. I don't want to do that to other people. So I feel like for me, it gave me a really good patience and ability to like always kind of question my actions before taking action to make sure that I wouldn't hurt other people around me. I don't know how much of that is making sense, but I think it's a good thing. I think what you have there is a good thing from what you're describing. Sure sounds like it anyway. Alright, is this one going to have spit on it? Did they make it to disc 3? Yes, they did. Alright, we got to use alcohol on this one too. Alright, we're going to get this disc drunk. Without being impulsive, which is really confusing. Why is it confusing? Because that all makes sense to me, but I guess, yeah, what's confusing about that? I'm just curious, because yeah. Can't say I understand why you would have the confusion there. Feel free to enlighten me, please. There we go. Good. I love how effective that is at removing that stuff. That is so good. Alright, I'll give it another pass here. Get it cleaned up. Get the gunk off. Excuse me. My goodness. And we dry. Alright, another one down. Good. Whew. So many games. So many games. Is this the last? Oh, this is the last CD game. I mean, there is the PS2 games there, but I don't know if I'll get to those tonight. I don't know. Andy's getting worn down from all this cleaning. It's taking its toll. Good. Very good. Man, that looks good. Yeah, look at that. Oh, man. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, baby. Love that. Say I've ignored natural urges that are entirely part of healthy people, that people learned to regulate since teens, and I repressed. I need to let those urges out enough to function, but not to be too impulsive. Many impulses. but not being too impulsive. Well, it sounds to me like you're describing what a lot of people wrestle with, which is balance. That's what I always go for in life. It's what it sounds like anyway. Figuring out where the middle point is, where you can have that balance, that's tricky. That's what it sounds like you're describing, though. That's interesting. Is there no spit on here? Did you not spit on the last disc? I was pretty much expecting it at this point. Let's see here. I like how each disc is colored a little differently. No, they did. Okay. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, yeah. I wonder if this wasn't even like a person playing it. They were just trying to clean it up or something. I don't know. Balance is a pain, especially when it's portrayed that some things cannot be balanced as a kid. Ah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I can definitely see as a kid having issues there. Yeah, absolutely. Outside influence when you're trying to figure things out on your own and whatnot. Sure. I feel like these days, a lot of my balance that I have, that I feel very good about, has come from just taking my time to evaluate my life and think about it and think about it. I do a lot of thinking. Walking and thinking, walking and thinking, walking and thinking, walking and thinking. Do a lot of thinking, a lot of walking. All the time. Always trying to learn and just kind of figure things out where I can, when I can, involve, and I don't know, just mentally sort things out. It's just a big puzzle for me. And a lot of that time, though, doing that has helped. For me, anyway. Hopefully you can have good balance in your life, too. Because it definitely is tricky to figure out. I feel like it's kind of one of those things. It's very much like when you see the teeter-totter effect on something that you like, you set up as a little something in your house or whatever, where you're trying to balance literally something. You're trying to balance it, and it it's going to go heavy one way, then heavy the other way, and then a little less heavy back, and eventually you'll find that, like little sweet spot in the middle. But, it takes time, and going a little too far one way and then too far the other way. But if you just keep at it, you don't give up, eventually get there. That's at least for me, things kind of went in a lot of those things. And then the really cool thing, though, was really, really cool, was that the more that I did that, and the more that I found balance with things in my life, the easier that it got for a lot of those things over time. When I was trying to evaluate a new subject or whatnot in my life to try to find balance in, it got progressively easier and easier. Not to say that it currently is easy now, but it certainly, in a lot of things, is not so difficult for me as compared to when I was younger and trying to learn the process. That's for sure. Someone or something to relate to? I see. Fear of mistakes, which can hurt people? Sure. Sure. Yes. Absolutely. That's very understandable, and it's nice to hear that you have the mindset to be aware of that. Because a lot of people either don't have that mindset to begin with, and don't seem to be able to get there, or they have the ability to consider it, but they just don't care. Because it's easier. Path of least resistance and all that. For them, that is. Not for the people around them. That's when things get unfortunate. I tend to move away from those kind of people very quickly. I will not be rude or disrespectful, but I will request distance, for sure. Cool. Alright, let's put all these back. Yeah, I would imagine it will. I would imagine it will. Usually does. I sincerely wish you luck with that, Mumbles. I know it can be difficult. Obviously, I don't know your specifics, but just generally speaking. Just giving them one final little bit of air here. Even though they've been sitting out just over there for just a few moments, even in those few moments, could have gotten a little bit of stuff on them. I figured. That's why I didn't ask. Mostly because that's very similar for me in terms of my past about certain things. A lot of that stuff I would be willing to share, but you can get controversial in there and other things and stuff. And sometimes it's just being vague is the better choice. So I appreciate that. No, I completely saw what you were doing there with that, and I do appreciate it. But at the same time, I'm happy to talk to you about that stuff, because I can definitely relate as much as I can. Like I said, you know, I don't know the specifics, but the idea, certainly. Thank you. I appreciate that about myself. I feel lucky as a human being to have that as well. I try not to take it for granted. Yes. When I put the disc back, well, okay, here, when I take a disc out, I try to just pull up and then push in the center, and then I grab the edges, so I'm not touching much. Then when I put it back, I rest it right in the center there, and then I take my 2 fingers, and I will rotate my fingers so that only the fingernail, and hopefully like just a little bit of the fingernail, touches. Sometimes I'll use my middle finger or whatever, and I'll make kind of a C shape like this. And then I press down in that C shape. Let's see if I can do it from the side. Yeah, like this, using my thumb and one of my fingernails, and then when I put it down, that way I'm not pressing and leaving fingerprints around that circle and whatnot, and that way minimal contact from start to finish. Just a little trick I use. Oh my goodness. Ugh. You are absolutely right, Mumbles. You are absolutely right. I agree 100%. 100%. Again, I would like to express the fact that it sounds like you have your moral compass in the right direction. Sure, maybe it's a little, you know, wavy, you know, the teeter-totter effect, but it sure sounds like the direction is very healthy for you in the long term. Like you said, you know, sometimes ignoring it's easier and stuff, and maybe you do what you got to do, but I don't know, man, the things you're saying to me sounds like you're going in the right direction. Sure sounds that way. Oh yeah, this came with like a whole bunch of nifty stuff on the side there and all that, yeah. Forgot about that. So, oh yeah, I forgot PlayStation 2 games get that purple. Look at that. That's some cool color there. Yeah. Alright, just these 2. And then I think I'm done. I don't think I can take much more. My goodness. Alright, how is the disc? Oh, that's not bad. I might not even have to. Wow, I think air alone might be good enough for this. Really? Almost. Close enough. Lucky. Alright. Finally, one that's really kind. Cool, I can go with that. Good. Whew. Ah. Now you see why when I say I clean these games with the intent of never having to clean them again. Oh, it's just a lot of effort. Ooh, this one looks like it's pretty darn good too. Alright, yeah. This one might even be better than the other one. Helps you keep yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're definitely right about that. Man, I'm so glad that these were just cleaner in general. You don't have to put in too much more effort. I'm getting tired here. Okay, I think so we still have some Mega Drive games in there. I don't want to deal with that right now. I do not. And then we got this game still. I think I can handle it. I guess I can, because this is yeah, okay. Thinking kind of out loud here. I can do this one. I can muster up the energy to do this one here. So, this is a little different with this game here. Let's have a look. Alright, so this could use a little attention, but mostly this is in pretty darn good shape, it seems. So that's nice. Yeah, this is pretty okay. Normally stream this early? No, Mumble, I don't have a normal stream time, honestly, man. It's still the usual of just I stream whenever I'm awake and mentally able to bring myself to do it. So yeah, eventually I'm going to be, I'm sure, streaming later and later as per usual. It always just kind of goes around with the clock. You know, as the clock, you know, I'm getting a little tired. I'm not talking right. My schedule is always rolling forward, is what I'm trying to express here, very poorly. So then my streaming schedule, of course, will always be rolling forward. It's why, unfortunately, I can never make, you know, hours on the stream of like, hey, I'll be on at this time, guys, because I'm always just awake at different hours. It's just it's a slow process, but it is a process that I'm always just kind of going to bed later and later and later in the day. So I'm always just rolling forward. So currently on the night shift, you could say. But eventually I'll be a normal human being again, maybe in a couple weeks, depending on just what happens as well. 'Cause sometimes it just jumps ahead massively, and other times it's just, you know, it takes its time. Yeah. Okay, so now we take our little pencil here, clean the edges of this like this. edge over here. I'm just being very gentle, not pressing super hard. A little bit of pressing down, but really you don't need much, especially with this one. It's not too dirty. It warrants a cleaning, but certainly not in any kind of real bad shape here, so that's good. And just back and forth like this. Pretty much gets it. And you'll see the pins change color very slightly. So you'll know if you're doing a good job getting it clean. People say I sleep 8 hours, but I never sleep more than 4 unless I skip a day and sleep 6. Okay. It really depends for me. Sometimes, yeah, I'll just get like quite a few days worth of like maybe 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes it'll be like 6 to 7. My typical seems to be about 6 hours. That seems to be kind of my usual. But it can vary. I mean, I can even hammer out like 10 or 12 hours sometimes if the planets align themselves, but that's not too often. That's usually, especially if I've like really been sleeping very poorly for quite the duration, and I guess it just eventually catches up with me or something. I don't know. I always complain though, how can such a basic functionality of being a human being for me work so poorly? I just want to sleep. But no. No. Apparently my body feels otherwise. Okay. Fair enough. Good. These, if I'm cleaning something, I'll tell you, I like cleaning these. These are some of the most easy things to clean. They're very straightforward and take very little to deal with. Good, good, good. Yay. Of course, of course. Isn't that the way it's supposed to go, right? Oh my goodness. That's Murphy for you. That happens to me a lot, like with situations where I'm like trying to be like, all right, I'll just go to bed at this time if I can and try to get up at this time, but then especially if I'm like anxious, which is like pretty much a guarantee, I'll be like sleeping extra terrible and worried about if I'm gonna wake up on time or whatnot, and then I end up waking up like hours early and I can't fall back asleep because I'm too concerned and stuff. It's horrible. It's definitely with things like that where I envy somebody that does manage to just live like a more what is regarded as being normal lifestyle in that way anyway. But I do my best not to let it get to me. It's mostly the career thing that causes the issue there. It's like, man, if I had a career that I could like work around that stuff, it would be great, but it's kind of tricky. I'm done with cleaning for now. We did really good. We did really, really good. We got a lot of games clean tonight. Like last night was kind of silly, but it didn't seem like much, but those Famicom games, they take a lot of effort. These though, that was nice. I feel like I really cranked out a lot there and played a lot of catch up, so that's good. Oh, feels good to get those done. That was not terrible. But that's it for me, guys. I would love to play a game or do something else, but I'm tired and I'm hungry and I want to be done with that. I want to put them away. It does feel good to put them away. Put them on. I'm going to be putting them on the shelf. It does feel good to do that. If I had a setup for it, I'd bring you guys along for that part, you know. But actually, I might eat first. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, I am going to head out, though. Again, thank you, all of you, for keeping me company while I do this. It's nice just to have company for that. Also, Mumbles, thanks for the conversation. I feel like I definitely got to know more about you as a person, for sure. And it was definitely an interesting conversation that I enjoyed. So thank you for that. And again, like I said earlier, I wish you luck with your achieving balance in your life. I really do. Hey, Defiant Duck, yo! You're sneaky, you're sneaky. Welcome back and take care. Anyway, that goes for the rest of you too, honestly. You know, I think we're all trying to find that balance in life with something or another. So I wish you all luck with that for sure, because life is tough. It definitely is. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. And I don't know exactly when I'll be on next, but sometime. You all take care of yourselves, please. Be well. Enjoy. Much love to you, my friends. And I'll see you all next time. Good night, everybody.